Hey, Bayek, it's me, and in today's video, I'm going to look at this. This is Rabid from 1977. Well, it's a classic David Cronenberg film, an earlier film which I absolutely love. It's always been a film that I've enjoyed of his. And my favourite, obviously, is The Dead Zone, because The Dead Zone is such a great, it's just one of my all-time favorite films. But this one, of his earlier films, is one that I always come back to quite a lot. I just really enjoy it, even though you can say it's quite a bleak film, and actually it says a lot about you know, the pandemic that we've just had. Well, not just had, we had in 2020, that we're getting out of. Some of the reactions and the way things were then are quite reflected in many ways in this film. And this is, I say, way before that in 1977. But yeah, it's something I really enjoy, this film. So I thought I'd review it, and that's what I'm doing. Right. Right, it's 91 minutes long. Perfect. It just sails by. You just absolutely love it. Rotten Tomatoes give it 77%, which I suppose isn't bad. I think a lot of critics did like a lot of this film, and I think as time has moved on, yes, it's got more appreciation. You can see it in the context of, I think, body horror. Yeah, the Cronenberg style is very much here, um, but it's just like one of those great sort of horror films of that period. In the 70s, it's got that feel very much to it, and I rather like it. The way it's filmed and everything about it in that sense. Of course, it's written by David Cronenberg as well as directing it, and so it's very much his more independent kind of project as it was, which with his other films at that time, he was developing his career and getting noticed, and this is for me a good example of that period. It was actually remade in 2019. I've not seen the 2019 remake at all, but I kind of interested but not interested because I love this film so much. It may be worth, I might check it out sometime, but I love this one so much. Right. So let me just have a look at the cast. I think the major headline on this cast is Marilyn Chambers. She plays Rose. Marilyn Chambers, you're saying? Well, Marilyn Chambers. She was very much an early 70s porn star, who was developing her career at this time and was branching out into other things. And here she is in her first role. And I think Cronenberg actually does a really good job. He brings out a lot in her character, and her performance is great. I really think her performance stands out. And it's needed in this because she is taking this role, and I think she does a really good job. She really does. Then the other actor is Frank Moore playing Hart. Um, he's her boyfriend. He's all right. He's a Canadian actor. Does a lot of TV and film work. Not sort of major league, but he's good in this. He does what he has to do. It's fine. Then I think the other one of interest is Joe Silver. He plays Murphy Cypher, and he's got quite a key role in this film as well. He was in Shivers, 1975, earlier Cronenberg film, which is actually another very popular Cronenberg film. Very good. It is good. Shivers is fine. It's interesting. I noticed that he was the voice of the creep in Creep Show 2, which is interesting. He has got a very interesting voice as well. Yeah, certainly, and that must be reflected, I think, in some of the roles he's had on film and TV. But yeah, he's good in this. He's engaging as you see him, and definitely. Then the other actor of interest is Howard Reisman. He plays Dr. Dan Colloyd. I think that's how you pronounce it, Colloyd. Yeah, he's an important part of the film as well, particularly at the beginning. He's a Canadian voice, character actor, radio, film, TV. Again, he's one of those people that's there and does a good, solid job in this film. And what else can a director do but bring out the best in the actors? And he certainly does. It's I think it's always good to see that when perhaps less known actors are really acting their socks off, if you want to put it in that sense. Because obviously, if you do a good performance, you've got a chance to further your career. You may get noticed, and it builds up like a good CV. So it's always good to see actors doing that, and some of them are seasoned actors, and they sort of they build a career in that kind of thing and get a good reputation and can get into some really good films. So yeah, I think that's an important part. So what is the film about? As I say, the body horror thing is very much a trademark Cronenberg thing, and it's here in all its glory. The film starts with Rose and her boyfriend Hart, who are involved in a motorbike accident. Reet now just happens to be near this clinic. This clinic is a plastic surgery clinic, and they're taken in, and Rose is in very bad shape, and the doctor, Dr. Dan Colloyd, decides that he's going to perform some more radical surgery, but use her as a bit of an experiment in a way to try and get her better and see what happens. Because she remains in this coma for quite a long time, way after her boyfriend goes and leaves the hospital. His injuries are not very big, and so she's there in the hospital, and they hope the operation has worked and that she's going to get better over time. Now, this radical surgery, well, it's created something which, of course, they don't know. And let's be honest, what they've created, that there's something in her armpit which has developed, which is like this orifice that opens up and something comes out, and it basically feeds on blood. That's what it is. It's there. It's taken part of her body over, and um, she needs to feed on blood. The thing is, when she bites somebody and feeds on them, they become infected, and therefore the cycle begins, and they then have to go on, and the infection is like a sort of a rabies thing, and they start going mad and have to infect other people. It's basically the bite infects them like a rabies bite would do. It's like a form of rabies which they describe in the news, and of course this starts to build up. The more victims she feeds on, the more they start to go mad, the more they spread, and the infection starts to spread. So you start to get this spread within the city of this virus, a rabid virus. Hence the title of the film. Not daft, are they? Not daft. And that's how the story progresses. And it's a very interesting story, watching everybody suddenly going rabid, if you want to call it like that, and the way things break down, and radical action has to be taken to stop this virus. It's like the pandemic, but not quite as radical as we did in our pandemic. But it's there. It's all interesting. The way the panic and the fear and everything develops in this city, and how do you control it, and vaccination, all those issues. You remember they all pop up here. But of course, it's great watching Cronenberg with his special effects, with his blood and gore on the body, the body horror as we call it. It's, I always think it's amazing. You don't need all this CGI when you see the way they're able to, perfect this. This is what we're happening, of course, in all these horror films of the 60s and 70s. How they were developing, being able to do this and create really wonderful images, and directors were able to develop it, and it's great watching it. I always think it's great. And Cronenberg does such a great job on this film. He makes you really engaged into it. You really are very much into it. Almost that it's going to go one way, definitely, I think. And it is a very, you could say, bleak ending. Amongst all that, there is, well, that's it, really. It's a bleak ending. And yeah, there are bits which are really quite unsettling, and that's the good direction of Cronenberg. And it's brutal, you could say, as well. And it's like a kind of zombie film almost. Yeah, they're not zombies, but it's like that. It's like they become that. They're like zombie-like as well. Once they become rabid, which is very, very, just very good atmosphere for the film. So I don't know why particularly, because it doesn't cheer you up or up, but I really enjoy just watching this. There are certain films like this is almost like a comfort horror film. I don't know why, but like I've talked about the Final Destination films, I often love just putting them down. And this sometimes when I think, oh, what should I put on? Oh, I'll put this on. Like funny enough, like the Dead Zone, which I absolutely love as well. It's funny. It's just me, probably. Anyhow, this Blu-ray edition is actually Swedish. Yeah, I got this in 2018, I think, through Amazon Germany. And I don't think I could find a Blu-ray copy of Rabid at that time or if I did, it was extremely expensive. And this is what I picked up. It's a Swedish version which I got through German Amazon, and it's all in Swedish. It is, and the extras are some of them are in Swedish, but I know that you can tell it's Swedish as well because it's got some naughty stuff on here. It's got some Marilyn Chambers trailers of a porn films. And it's hardcore stuff as well. Hey, they don't mess around in Sweden. It's all on here. Yep. So there we are. That's my copy. I think maybe now they may be somebody who's probably released this in a good edition. But this is really fine, and it's one of those things where it's got grain a bit in it, and it's like a grindhouse thing. It helps. You don't want all this digitalized stuff always in these films. It adds to the atmosphere. And I remember watching this back in the day on VHS, and it's like kind of like that, and and on the DVD versions as well. So yeah, this is great. Highly recommended. It may not be for everyone. Cronenberg isn't. I accept that, but I think this is a real cracker. I do. It's reet grand. It is. It's reet grand. So that's it. That's my review. And if you're new to watching me ramble on, then please subscribe. You'll get more of it. Of course, you don't want any more of it, but if you do enjoy it, then please subscribe and give it a like as well, because that helps with all these algorithm stuff that I talk about, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyhow, I suppose it helps with all that, and it costs no. So there you are. And also, if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. Yeah, I love to read them, and I'll always reply to your comments. And well, that's it. I think that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.